Today, I want to talk to you about the equation that took my clinic from busy to profitable. So please stay tuned, guys. It's a life-changing video. My name is Mark Bentz, and I own one of the largest multidisciplinary clinics in Canada. I'm also the founder of the Virtual CEO program. I work with people like yourself, massage therapists, physiotherapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, all types. And I work with you to give the business that you've always wanted. So we create a bulletproof clinic for you. It's extremely financially successful and it gives you the lifestyle you've always wanted. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. Here it is. And it's pretty simple and you're gonna go, you know what, is it really that? It is. Because the simple things repeated create the greatest outcome. So this is how I turned my clinic from busy to profitable. And I did it through average number of treatments per client. Now, if you've watched a lot of these videos, you're gonna go, whoa, Mark, man, you constantly harp about this. I do, because it's at the center. This is the center of it all. This is how when you build out a clinic, a large multidisciplinary clinic, might be 8 therapists, might be 18 therapists, could be 48 therapists. I don't know where your destination is, but I assure you, as you create complexity, and therapists are complex. When you add different professions, it's complex. So you gotta break it down. What is the simplest thing I need to focus on? And I'm gonna give you an example, real life, what happened to me as about 5 or 6 years ago. I'm terrible with time, but that's about where we're at. Okay, so here it is. Busy clinic. You know, we've been doing this, I don't know, about that time for about 7 years, okay? Booming, man, everybody's busy. We're like, wow, this is fantastic and just a good old time. But suddenly I'm like, you know what's interesting? I'm unable to add another therapist. Why can I not add another therapist? And so I'm thinking to myself, I better drill a bit deeper. So it's time to get into the numbers. So we started looking, and this is where it all came from. Average number of treatments per client. So we drew everybody up. And we said, okay, how's this therapist? So I'll just give you an example of a massage therapist for now. We have 25 massage therapists. So I've got tons of data over many years now that I can look at. I'll give you one example to give you a framework. I got a therapist, been with me 20 years, amazing individual. His average number of treatments per client is 11. Okay, now I'll give you the example of why our clinic wasn't growing. But we were busy. Here's the thing, you can be busy, but you're not growing. And then I looked at 2 therapists, and I couldn't believe as we ranked each one, and it went from 11 all the way down to 1. And I'm like, 1? I think it was actually 1.1 or 1.2. I can't remember the exact number. But it was like, what is going on here? And so what was actually happening was every new patient or client we were sending these bottom 2 therapists, they weren't rebooking. And they're only rebooking at a 1.2, which is a very minor amount because you got to remember if someone came in once, which that's how you know, that's 1. You got to remember, whoa, what is it? What is that? What are those 2 people doing now, 2 therapists doing to everybody else in the clinic? They're taking all the new patients. Well, you know how hard it is, you're a clinic owner. How hard is it to get new patients? Well, unless they're coming in from personal referrals, which are the best clients to have come in, but if they're coming in through your marketing efforts, it's expensive. If the therapist can't build a therapeutic relationship, they're just burning money. Now here's the thing, they were busy, so then I can say, oh, well, they were paying us rent. Yeah, they were paying us rent, but they couldn't pay enough rent for us to grow because we had no more leftover clients to see another therapist. So I had to sit down and have a conversation and say, guys, look at, these are your stats. And they're just above 1. And now here's what's going to happen when you have that tough conversation. This is why you need the numbers, is they're going to say, oh, well, you know, Mark, I work on the weekends and so many people come in last minute on the weekends. Fair enough. That can happen. I get it. Depending on where you are. We're in downtown Vancouver, tourism. I get it. People are traveling. But when I can pull it out, weekend numbers, weekday numbers, evening numbers, morning numbers, and it all starts to be the same, then the excuses don't add up. And that's what you're looking for. You're trying to solve for, how can I make it clear to the therapists that they're not actually building a therapeutic relationship? They might be busy, they're collecting their income due to the split, but they're actually killing the clinic. And I mean killing the clinic, okay? So I sat down and said, guys, we want to work on this. And I said, I'm going to work on it with you, because they've been with me for a few years. And I like them. They're very good people. Let's work on this for the next year. But I said, if we can't work on it the next year, we got to bring this to an end. And the end means you got to find another clinic that works for you, because I can't have you taking all these initial clients. Because what that does to everybody else in the team is, if there's a cancellation, they don't get an initial client, because these people are taking them all. That's the problem. It's like a bucket with a huge hole. And you want to have a bucket with the tiniest hole in the best case. I would prefer no hole, but you always have a bit of this attrition, where new patients come in, they don't rebook. You're always trying to solve for that. So that's a tiny hole in your bucket. I, unfortunately, when I did the numbers, had a huge hole, and the huge hole were made up of 2 therapists taking all these clients. So I sat down, and over the next year, we met and we talked about it. We figured it out. We said, hey, what are you doing to rebook? And unfortunately, at the end of the day, after a whole year, we couldn't create any meaningful change. Well, what do you have to do? Well, this is it. The decision needs to be made. And I told them, if we couldn't create change, and I wanted them to get up to 3, which is totally reasonable, that, listen, if you can't create a therapeutic relationship where the average client trusts you to come in at least 3 times in a year to help them, this isn't the right place for you. The year came, they had to find a new clinic. It was uncomfortable. They probably don't feel great about what I did, but it was the best thing I did for the rest of the team. As soon as they left, I was actually able to bring in 5 more therapists. Now you say to yourself, whoa, what a change. Yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely like dramatic. And what happened were, those 2 therapists now were moved on to the 5 therapists. 5 therapists brought more revenue into the clinic. I was able to spend more revenue on making the clinic better, marketing for more clients, and all I had to change was shrinking the hole in the bucket. Now, of course, when I brought 5 of those new therapists on, one of them had to go after about 8 months. They were unable to build up a practice, and they were actually a seasoned therapist. So they have the structure to do it. I sat down with them, I educated them, I showed them how to do it. They didn't want to do it. 8 months later, that person had to move on. And I politely just have a good conversation saying, hey, unfortunately, this isn't the environment. Like I say, I can't have you here. Too many therapists rely on that you can build a therapeutic relationship. We've done our best, can't do it, you got to move on. And that's the hard part about running a clinic, is you have to have the hard conversations. But here's the flip side. They're not that hard once you've had them. You can't believe how beneficial it is to move people on. Because here it is. It doesn't matter how much rent they pay you. You might think, oh, they pay me so much rent. No, I'm sorry. If that hole in the bucket is too big, they're costing you twice as much. So please, do the equation. Don't be the person, don't be that clinic owner that goes, I'm just more comfortable being busy. Be the clinic owner that says, I need to be profitable. Now, profit, of course, will help you at the end of the day, but it also helps your admin staff. If you're profitable, you can pass on that money. If you're profitable, you can create a better clinic, a better infrastructure. Maybe you need to paint. Maybe you need to change tables. Maybe you need to do some more marketing. Maybe you need to re-skin or revamp your website. That money comes from your rent. So you gotta get it. Like, there's no secrets here. But I assure you, what's going wrong when you do the numbers is there'll be a few of your therapists that are taking all the initials. So close up the gap. Make sure that that bucket isn't leaking water. Get out there. I want to hear those successes. And I can't wait. So go there. Take action. See you in the next video.